So we both grew up in Kansas and grew up about 5 miles apart, but didn't meet until college.
And I became a teacher. Life was good. Life was good. We had 4 kids and we loved our life. And then God just kind of pointed out that we were complacent. We were fine with our lives. Like, we liked our house, we liked our jobs, we liked our kids, we liked the way we served God in our church. I had never really had foster children in my classes before. I had worked at maybe a little more upscale schools, and so I didn't have irresponsible parents. I didn't have foster children in my classrooms. And the 2 years that I was in Missouri, it was impactful. Like, I had so many foster children in and out of my classrooms. But that was when we realized, okay, we have to do something.
You know, we got licensed to respite care, which is just helping out.
So you take a kid, you babysit them for the weekend.
Yeah, you're a licensed babysitter for foster kids, basically.
Right.
And we did that all of one time before I got another call from work and they asked me to move. And hey, we took it. We got asked to move at the beginning of July. We came and looked at houses, and by the end of July, we were in Toledo.
And we turned in our applications for foster care to get licensed. We took the classes.
And they called us with a couple kids. You know, hey, can you take these kids? You know, yeah, we can take them. And then something fell through. I mean, every time, multiple times. And then we got the call for these 3. And he said, okay. And they said, oh, they're good kids. They're normal kids. Come to find out, they'd been in and out of foster care 7 times. They've been through
A lot. More than kids should have to go through.
They've seen things that we shouldn't, that no kid should see. And we got in foster care thinking, hey, we're gonna have kids for a couple weeks, a couple months.
We're gonna
love them while we can, and we're gonna get them back to their parents.
We thought we would bring them to church, introduce them to Jesus, you know, give them some hope and love.
You know, we're comfortable with our 4 kids. We love our 4 kids. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little did we know that, hey, their guardian ad litem came in to our house to meet us and talk to the kids, and she said, you know, this is going to be a long term.
And we were
and we
like,
said, what do you mean? Like,
okay.
You know, 6-8 months? She said, no, this is probably going to go adoption.
And we're like, oh.
Are you ready for that?
Okay.
And he said,
we're like,
I don't know. Because, you know, we were never opposed to adoption, but
we just
let's
got
cross
into
that bridge when we get there, you know, not worry about it. And here we are a month into our very first placement, and they tell us this is going to be a long go. And
we're like, okay, well, we'll go along for the ride. We'll see what this long go is. We'll see where it takes us.
There's been a lot of ups and downs.
There's a lot of stuff that people don't realize that the kids need other than just like a house and a family to love them. And a lot of children, they've never been to school on a regular basis. They've never had stability. They've never had routines. They don't know what it is to go to a restaurant.
We were definitely the crazy people sitting in the back of the corner of the restaurant with people going, 1, 2, 3. How many kids do you have? They keep coming. And our little guy, when he came to us, you couldn't console him when he cried. I mean, he's 2 and he'd cry, and if you touched him, he'd panic.
He didn't understand what it was to be just patted on the back.
But if you leave him in a room by himself to go to bed, he'd throw up because he was in such a panic.
And then we wonder why there are so many broken children. And it's because their parents are broken, and therefore they become broken. And so we realized, okay, like, we're just teaching them basic life skills. Like, let's teach them how to be normal. Let's teach them what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. It doesn't take much for them in a stable environment to turn into normal kids when they're away from all the negative influences, when they don't have all the trauma or the violence going on around them, when they're not around.
Just love.
All of that.
I mean, 2 years later, they're almost reading on grade level. They're doing well in school. Do they struggle? Yeah, they struggle, but they're doing great. You know, I had a lot of people ask me, you know, oh, how do you do it? I get too attached. And I say, I mean, absolutely, you get attached. I mean, these are my kids. Even if it's just for a little while, they may never know attachment. They may never know it until we give it to them. And you know what? If they only know attachment for a few months or a couple of years,
They deserve
They
to know
deserve
love.
it. They need to know love.
Yeah.
And if we're the only love that they ever see, we're big people. We can handle big things. They're little people. They shouldn't have to handle big things.
Even if people aren't wanting to adopt more kids, you can help a kid get caught up in so many areas.
Absolutely.
As a church, if we're being supportive of families and encouraging families, like if you see a family that's struggling, if you see a mom and dad, like it's okay to step in and help that family out. He has called us to take care of the orphan and the widow. And these children, they don't know that there's a God who made them, who loves them, and so they feel orphaned, they feel hopeless, they feel like no one loves them because they don't have an example of love in their lives. We were normal people. I had a normal job. We had a normal family, and we were cool with our life and cool with our family until we realized that there were all these children out there who didn't have a normal life. They didn't have a mom and dad to take care of them, to love them, to give them food. There are a lot of children out there who don't have that. I was complacent, and we did have a normal life, and then we realized it's not okay to be in that place where we're just happy with what we have going on, because I need to be a little uncomfortable in order to accomplish God's will for the kingdom, and that's that everyone would be exposed to Christ.
They're so worth it. I mean,
They need an advocate. They need somebody who's going to stick up for them, to stand up for them. They need someone to love them most of all. They need someone to show them what a family is like, because they've never had a real family. They may have had someone who was in and out that they were supposed to call dad, that their mom told them to call dad, but they don't really know what a dad is. And so therefore they don't know that God is our Father and He's a good one, because they've never had an image of a good father.
everybody can do something.